Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the weather stripping that I put on 6 months ago and why I'm about to replace it in this video. So 6 months ago, just got done finishing the car and I was putting everything back together. I removed all the weather stripping from the car for the paint prep, and I ordered an aftermarket weather stripping kit off of Amazon that had pretty good ratings at the time. Put it on the car, and as I installed everything was kind of tight putting it on. Shutting the doors was really hard. Putting the roof on the car was almost impossible. I had my 10-year-old daughter sitting on it while I was trying to bolt it down. The rear hatch too, it had like a foot gap trying to shut the thing down. And initially I was like, oh, it's probably just, you know, needs to compress or whatever like that because the rubber was new. So I just kind of was like giving it the benefit of the doubt, being like, okay, it'll probably, you know, another month or two, it'll probably be fine or whatever. Well, 6 months later, it's probably 7 months now. It's not, it's horrible. And I can't shut anything. I hate opening and shutting the door because it just doesn't shut. You have to slam it so hard that the door panel on my driver's side is like cracking and falling apart because I'm inside pulling so hard to shut it, like 4 times just to shut the stupid thing. So I got to a point where I'm just like, I'm done with this. I can't live like this anymore. So I did some research and I found another company to get weather stripping from. I ordered just a driver door one just to see how it would fit. Because at this point I was like, well, I don't want to just spend the money for the OEM stuff, which is super expensive. And I don't want to buy any more garbage for it because it's just too much. And unfortunately, it's just not working out. So I'll show you a couple things, the issues that I'm dealing with. I even took the time to try to see if I could get that to work. I found the areas where it was hitting really bad. I heated the rubber. I even started removing some of the rubber just to get some like extra clearance, and it was impossible. Like, it was just never gonna work at all. Like, 2 of the joints where they hit were so thick from the rubber, the aftermarket stuff, it was just hitting. Like, I took essentially all of it away and I cut a piece of it away and it still wouldn't shut correctly. So I was like, okay, unfortunately, this is garbage. I can't deal with it. So I'll show you the issues that I'm running into, and then I'll show you the new stuff that I got, and we'll put that on the car. This week's video is brought to you by weatherstripping.com. Shop our site for Corvette performance parts, merchandise, and much more. See the link in the description or visit weatherstripping.com. Okay, first thing first, I'll show you the whole door situation here. So you normally should be able to shut your door essentially like this. Okay, so this is a little bit better than it was, but it just doesn't shut, even if you slam it hard. See, just doesn't shut at all. So essentially, it's hitting down in here. This piece here is so thick, it's hitting up against this piece here, which is so thick. So you have to slam this thing so hard just to kind of compress it. So what I did on the other side, I essentially removed all this rubber here, and I removed a bunch of this, and I ended up just cutting it here because once I had the clearance here and here, the glass was hitting up here so hard where I couldn't even shut it. So I was like, this is ridiculous. It's kind of crazy. So anyway, I'll show you what I did on the driver's side. See if we can get this thing to shut. You have to like grab down low here, like too much. It's like, yeah, something's gonna break. I'm gonna like break the glass out of the thing. I'm not even gonna undo the hatch yet because I can't even shut the thing. And I'll unbolt the roof, but you see the gap there? How much it's like just pushing up on this thing there. So this is a lot better now because I have the new seal in here, which is softer, but I'll do a side-by-side comparison here in a minute. So this piece here, it's so thick that it's actually hitting down here. So it's somewhat soft here. This is the aftermarket piece, but down in here where it's like together, it's just thick and solid. And then this is the new seal here. But over here you can see I essentially cut all the way up to here. I took all this out like that, and still the glass would hit in here so hard and making it hard to shut. So this door shuts good with the window down because of the new seal on here. So that's a lot better. But once I put the new seals in up here and there, it'll be almost like it was from the factory. So that's what I'm dealing with. All right, so here it is. The Corvette Rubber Company. So I kind of wish I knew about them when I originally ordered the stuff, but I was too focused on the paint project and getting everything back together instead of doing the research that I should have been doing. but this time I did some research, and I ordered, like I said, the driver door seal just to check them out first for myself. They had a lot of really good reviews on there that people were talking about in different forums and stuff like that. So to me, it was worth a shot. The prices aren't horrible, they're not cheap, but they're also better than OEM stuff. So the seal itself is just extremely soft and flexible, and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what it should be. So I was really impressed with that. This is like the rear windshield, or the like around the back of the top part here. And just a little like side-by-side comparison here. It's kind of hard to do in a video, but this is a piece from the aftermarket stuff, and it's so thick, hard rubber, like it's essentially plastic at this point. Like it's like just extremely hard, and like there's just no flex to it at all, where this is just like you can completely compress it all the way down with like minimum effort, and this is just almost impossible to compress at all. So anyway, that's out of here. This is the front windshield one here, and they were fast. I think they're in Michigan and I'm in Pennsylvania, and I ordered it. It was like 2 days later I had it. So the only thing I'm waiting for is the rear hatch strip, but I'll get to that later. But so this is the front windshield. Same thing, man. That front part where the door glass would hit, that's all hard rubber on there, is just completely soft there. So seems like it's gonna work out a lot better than the other stuff. Now I'm gonna take the top off real quick so I can get the rest of this stuff off. Now that's the fun part. Yeah, there's screws holding this in, but I'm just pulling it out. All right, now we put the new stuff in. I'll take the screws out first though. So I got all the screws that were in holding all the weather strip around the windshield and stuff out. So now I'm just taking these ones off the door here. Luckily my door panels are in really good shape. I can just kind of peel them back a little bit because it's just kind of warped, and get these screws and be able to fish this weather stripping out without having to take the panel off, which isn't the end of the world if you had to, but it's a little faster. All right. This definitely feels like deja vu since I'm doing this for the second time. Okay, so first impressions, it's so much better. Just getting it in this channel here is just so easy. It's like falling right in place with like little effort. The other stuff, you really had to push real hard to kind of get it in its groove. And this stuff's like, you can essentially put it in by hand. So, pretty good sign. So another thing I noticed too is that the length of this is like 100% spot on. I remember back here, the hatch, and even here, I almost had to kind of like have a bunch all, you know, bundled up here, all stacked on, and kind of have to work it in across because it was almost too long. This actually fits perfectly, and all the holes line up like right on the dot, like especially down in here when I did the other side, the screw holes were right there. The other stuff, I had to like, you know, figure out exactly where it went, and kind of took me forever to get everything lined up because it was so thick and they weren't even in the right spots. I remember trying to have to relocate one of the screw holes, I think on the other side with the aftermarket stuff. But so far this stuff really kind of lines up nicely, so I'm happy with that. Another thing too is that it's soft enough that you can actually tuck it behind some of these pieces in here, where before the other stuff I ended up taking off just to kind of get it behind there because it was so thick. Who knew if you got the correct parts that they would fit really good? I never heard of that before. So sometimes you just can't cut corners, or you do it twice, like this guy. All right, so just finishing up this last rear piece here. All right, so I'm just putting this door seal on. That should wrap it up. Even these push clips go in really easily. The aftermarket ones, I remember using a block of wood and a hammer to like almost properly like seat them in all the way. But these, just little effort, they pop right in, which is nice. Okay, so got everything back on the car, so go slam some doors and see if it makes a difference. Perfect. Even the fit is really nice, look at that. Same thing over here, whoop. Let's try this door. Perfect. All right, that's a huge difference. Okay, now I'm gonna put the top back on and see if there's a big difference there. Okay, so a lot better. I was able to actually push it down by hand. Obviously the seals are new, so you have to push down a little bit, but everything lined up and I was able to tighten it. Before, I'm telling you, I had my daughter on top. I was just pushing on this thing, trying to line this stupid thing up. It took me like an hour just to get it bolted to the car, and I told myself I'd never take it off ever again. But now that this goes on so easily, it's not even a big thing to bolt it on and off. So super happy with that. So everything fits really, really nice. Okay, so it's all installed. Really happy with this stuff. Corvette Rubber Company makes a great product. The fitment is perfect. The whole alignment's perfect. The ease of installation was like no time. I have to say, it was like a fraction of the time it took me to put that in than the aftermarket stuff where I was just forcing and fumbling and, you know, hogging out the holes to get the screws to line up and stuff like that. So it's the whole, you get what you pay for. Now, the aftermarket stuff was around 300 bucks, I believe, and this stuff runs for the full kit a little over $700, which isn't terrible if you think about it. You can also go in and buy each individual seal if you wanted to, but I have to say, after 7 months of having the aftermarket stuff on my car and still having issues, still not being able to shut my doors correctly, or the hatch or the roof, you know, not even being able to take any of that stuff off because it's just such a struggle to put it back on. It kind of takes away the fun from the car. So you got to keep that in mind before you actually, you know, try to save a couple bucks buying the cheaper stuff. So, but this is my honest opinion on all of this stuff. I bought both of those, and the Corvette Rubber stuff is definitely kind of the way to go in my opinion. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Thanks for watching.